What's up, Ross? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's funny. I was thinking about you guys because I actually invested in that company, futurefans.com, and I might have told you guys this before, but the DC market has been like by far the best market.
Oh, really?
So going on with you guys or Grant and Danny or any Commanders related podcasts, which tells me that there's like major football fever down there. There's major excitement, or at least there was.
Yeah, I think there was.
There was. This morning, that was actually going to be my question. Like, it really is the best gift for your kids, and it's one of those things where it's like you're getting your kid it for the holidays, but it's really a gift for you because then your child will actually watch the Commanders games with you, like you guys used to sit there and watch the Redskins games with your dad. But I'm actually very curious. It's futurefans.com. Is anybody going to go there today? Is anybody going to go to futurefans.com and check it out or make a purchase, or have you guys all given up?
No, you'd be surprised, but the fans are checking out for more than one reason. And we wanted to have you on just to kind of give your insight on this and your opinion. We're kind of on both sides. A couple of us here aren't blaming Dan Quinn for keeping Jayden in. A couple are. And I can see both sides. I get it. I mean, you're down 31 points with 10 minutes left. Why is anybody in there?
I mean, 100% in hindsight, he should have been pulled.
In hindsight, he should have been pulled. Where do you stand on having, especially a younger quarterback in his second year, getting out there even if the game is out of hand and you have no chance of winning?
So I will say, I think one of the things that NFL teams historically do really poorly is this, is take out starters or, elite players when the games have gotten out of hand. I noticed that when I was playing. It's still the case in games I call now. I will say I do not think this is as egregious as people are suggesting it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 7 minutes and how much left?
Like 7.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Down 31.
And when did the drive start?
12-ish.
Yeah, so
right. That's more important than the 7 minutes. Yeah.
And he did say, Ross, he was going to take them out after that particular drive. He did say that.
Well, so the one thing I would say is, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, the Broncos were down 26-7 to the Giants. Now, I know that 19 points is different than 31. However, there was 5.5 minutes left. And, guys, the Giants scored a touchdown in those last 5.5 minutes. The Broncos ended up winning 33-32.
Right.
So think about that. 5.5 minutes, you're down 19. Let's just give the Giants a touchdown. So you're actually down 26. So I would tell you, I mean, it's unlikely. Yes, this is not 2 minutes left. This is not you're still down 30 with 4 minutes left. I give Dan Quinn credit for accepting responsibility for it. But I think you really could go either way. There aren't a lot of coaches out there that are going to wave the white flag with more than 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's a lot of time. Now, if they had just gotten the ball with 7 minutes left and it was the first play,
that's different.
A little bit different.
Right.
I do not think it's as bad as everybody else. I mean, obviously, hindsight, it's easy to say that. But what if the first play they go down and what if his first play is a bomb for a touchdown, and then it's 38-14, and then you can start. It's fourth quarter. You can start to.
You know what, Ross? Honestly, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I actually think that it wasn't about coming back from this game because anybody watching it knew that wasn't going to happen because we weren't going to stop them anyway if they really wanted to. I think what it was about was trying to find a rhythm on offense before they pull them. You know what I mean? Like, Jayden's been a tick off all year. The offense hasn't been anywhere near it should have been. He's been out. Can we just score a touchdown here, then I'll pull the kid? Like that. I think that's really what it was about, and it backfired. But I don't think it was about, I'm still trying to steal this game, honestly.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
And I do know that there are coaches that really feel that way. like, hey, we just got to get something positive coming out of this. We got to get something, get the offense going. I've always thought that was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any carryover from that game to the next game. Like, okay, let's just say they did that.
Yeah.
Let's just say they went down and scored a touchdown, and then he pulled them, and it's 38-14.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think for 1 second any offensive player feels a little bit better about that?
No.
Do you think that there's any carryover from that to the next game? I do know. Look, I played for 5 teams, 9 head coaches. Like, I do know that is a school of thought.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was the dumbest thing that there's no carryover. You're playing a totally different team. By the way, when you get that garbage time touchdown late, that they're like giving up yards.
They're playing differently. Everything
relentlessly, right? Like they're letting you relentingly, I should say, not relentlessly, relentingly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're letting you throw the check downs, the underneath stuff. Like it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You're true. That's true. This year has been everything has gone wrong, as opposed to last year. Everything went right. Now they played a much easier schedule. Played a bunch of backup quarterbacks. They were throwing Hail Marys. I mean, everything was just kind of going their way. But this year, man, I mean, the list of injuries, I mean, you're like 15 deep in terms of injuries.
Well, you'd think it would be, I think everybody thought that there would be some regression for the Commanders because of not only, the schedule, all the close games they won. You mentioned the Hail Mary. They also, I had a guy come on my show, the Ross Tucker podcast. They were historically good on fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like these were Eagles tush-push fourth down conversions. They were like real, like
fourth and 7, fourth and
Yeah, they were due to take a step back, I think. At least, regular season record-wise. Doesn't mean they couldn't go on another playoff run. But yes, it does feel like they've gotten more than it kind of reminds me of the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs had that streak where they won 15 straight one-score games.
Yep.
Guess what the Chiefs are this year in one-score games? 0-4.
Yeah.
Those things have a way of evening out. You think that the evening would be a little bit smoother, if that makes sense, as opposed to it just all happening at once. But that's kind of where they're at. I mean, like that Bears game, I called that game with Kevin Harlan for Westwood 1. Where I can't remember, Jayden fumbled the snap, or we trying to hand off to.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Bear. I mean, they didn't lose any games like that last year.
Right. Where do you stand on DQ? I mean, there's no question the guy is, great football guy. His whole life's in football. He's had a ton of success as a D coordinator. He had success. Hell, he got a team to the Super Bowl, right? So he's been success as a head coach. Unbelievable year last year. And this is unfair. I'm just going to tell you right now it's unfair. But he always just rubs me as so cheesy with the hat backwards and tell the truth Monday and all these cliches. And we got the answers here. And the guys all love him. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know. It's just something about him. It's just
Eric's down on him.
I have been the same one. I've always said he just strikes me as a little bit cheesy.
Yeah, I love him. I think I love him. I think all the guys love him. It's funny because a lot of the things you just said about him, that's how some people still feel about Sirianni in Philly.
Is he like that too? Is he like that too?
Still rubs Eagles fans the wrong way. All the guy's done is take him to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years and win one, and he's got the best winning percentage of any coach. But there's things about him that rub people the wrong way. What I can tell you about Sirianni and about Dan Quinn, because I've talked to players about it, the biggest thing is they feel like they are totally genuine, totally authentic to who they are, and even like their weird idiosyncrasies or whatever. The players like it because that's on Sunday, guys, I called the Chargers-Titans game, okay? Jim Harbaugh is the weirdest guy of all time.
Right.
No doubt.
Right.
He is the strangest guy.
Yeah.
And I talked to some of the players, and they're like, dude, he'll go on a tangent for 15 minutes about, the craziest things.
Right.
But I think the most important thing is they know that that's him. And, they can laugh at him, they laugh amongst, they make jokes. I think it's listen, we all have buddies, okay, who they just have really crazy ways about them. Mm-hmm. And when you introduce them to other people, they're like, yo, you're friends with that guy? And you're like, yeah, isn't he hilarious? They're like, no, he's a weirdo. I'm like, no, he's not a weirdo. He's hilarious. Right. We all have those guys. And I think, there's some of that with Sirianni, some of that with Harbaugh. But when they're your guy, when they're your buddy, you kind of like it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hey, Ross, we kind of threw this out there a couple segments ago. What's a more impressive run right now? Both teams have won 6 straight. I'm sorry. They have not won 6 straight. The Colts at 7-2, 7 wins. They both have 7 wins, or the Patriots. So the Patriots have won 6 straight. They both have 7 wins. But what's the more impressive run so far through 9 games, Colts or Pats?
Ooh, it's a really, really good question. There's a lot of similarities, actually. I mean, I guess you'd have to say the Patriots winning 6 straight is more impressive. I think the Colts are the better team. The Colts are an absolute machine. The only reason why they lost the Rams is because their guy did the thing where he dropped the ball at the goal line for a touchdown.
Right.
And they lose the Steelers on Sunday with 6 turnovers. I mean, They had 6 turnovers, and they lost by a touchdown in Pittsburgh. So as we talk about regression and numbers, they have 4 turnovers, they still win the game, So I think the Colts are as good as anybody. The Patriots, their schedule has been so favorable.
It's been easy, yeah.
So bad. Who the Patriots lost to the Raiders in the opener. They lost to somebody else that isn't really that good.
They lost to the Steelers in Week 3 at home.
Right, and that was a turnover fest. That's the only way. That's the only way the Steelers win these games is when it's like a million turnovers. So I would say this: Drake May is the real deal, man. Mm-hmm. I did 2 Patriots games last year on TV, and first of all, like just meeting him and the way he carries himself, and they were terrible last year. I mean, bad, and he still looked good in every game I watched or every game I did for them. And now they got some better guys around him. They're going to give the Bills a battle just to win that division.
Yeah, already beat them in Buffalo. Now they play the Bucks in Tampa this week. That'll be tough. But then they get the Jets at home. They get the Bengals. They get the Giants at home. So even if they lose to the Bucks, they could still, through about 13 games, still have a great record. But
it's so funny, isn't it? Yeah. Because we talk so much about all these other positions, but it's really primarily the head coach and the quarterback.
Yeah.
Other positions matter, but if you have the right guy at those 2 spots, I don't think it's that hard to put a good enough team around those guys to be able to have success. Drake May's the real deal. Vrabel's a proven guy. I like Steichen in Indy and Daniels. Now, I will say the Colts, I think they have the best offensive line in football. Jonathan Taylor's the best running back. So the Colts are kind of loaded, but it still really does, for the most part, come down to those 2 spots, and you can kind of fill in around those guys.
Hey, Ross, I know you follow the Eagles pretty closely, and a lot of controversy around a team that's 6-2, and with a quarterback that has 15 touchdowns throwing and just 1 interception. But I wanted to ask you about Saquon Barkley. Last year, he rushed for over 2,000 yards. This year, through 8 games, he only has 519 yards rushing. What are you seeing from him? Is it just all the touches from last year are catching up? The offensive line isn't as good, a mix of those 2 things? What's going on with Barkley with his numbers being so down?
Well, so the good news for them is he had his breakout game in their last game before the bye against the Giants. I think he went for 150. What's kind of crazy about that is that the backup running back now, Tank Bigsby, he went for over 100 because Saquon messed up his groin, they're calling it, on a long run against the Giants. The biggest thing is that their offensive line just hasn't played that well. Mm-hmm. They've had center and left guard in and out of the lineup, and even when those guys have been out there, they're both coming off surgeries, and so they don't look the same. They have a new OC, so they've tried some different things offensively, including more multiple tight end sets. It hasn't worked. Their backup tight end is not a good blocker at all. I don't know why they have him out there. So I do think if they can pick up where they left off against the Giants, that they'll be able to get that run game going. Now, his numbers aren't going to be what they were last year, but if you saw like his 80-yard touchdown or 75, whatever it was against the Giants, he still has plenty of juice. Now, I'm not saying he's running as well as he did last year, but he hasn't like lost a step on the GPS thing. I think he's had some poor runs in terms of his vision, and the offensive line's not getting him to the line of scrimmage cleanly like they did last year. But he's still plenty explosive and fast enough.
Ross, real quick before we let you go, just switching over to college. I know you didn't go to Penn State, but you cover Penn State. It's been a disastrous year. They let James walk for $50 million. The name I like is Bob Chesney. I know that name's not a big enough name. Probably he's been a winner everywhere. I think he would be great for that program. But what direction do you think Penn State goes? Do they go younger guy that's proven or older guy that's proven?
It's a great question. So, yeah, I actually live in Harrisburg now. So I live like an hour and 15 minutes from Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went to training camp. They invited me up there. I interviewed some of their guys in Franklin. I'll just say this, not that anybody's listening, but because there's a lot of rumors about Franklin and Va-Tech,
mm-hmm.
Guys, I had 9 head coaches in the NFL, including, Gibbs and Parcells and Schottenheimer and Belichick and whatever. Man, he let me sit in every meeting up there. He is a really impressive guy. And if you're Virginia Tech, I would do anything possible to get James Franklin to be the next Virginia Tech coach. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that would be real bad for Penn State because he would recruit his you-know-what off in the DMV and even still in PA and Jersey if he was at Va-Tech. As for Penn State, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like they fired a really good coach who had a top 10 program without knowing who the next guy would be. I always think like it sounds good to, we can't win the big one. We want to be a top 5 program, but we're top 10. We need to get somebody. You better know who that guy is. Like, and you better have him in the fold. I don't think any of the big fish that they've kind of reportedly talked to, the Urban Meyers or Sabins or whatever, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm with you 1,000%. I did multiple Bob Chesney games when he was at Holy Cross as I was working my way up.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is a star.
Yeah.
He's from Central PA. He's from the Cole region. His dad was a high school coach up there. You want to talk about a guy that's an absolute animal. He went to Dickinson, where we used to have training camp when I was with the Redskins. To coach Salve Regina, Assumption. Then he goes to Holy Cross, won the Patriot League, won a playoff game, beat an FBS team like every year he was there. Now he goes. It's so funny you just said that because I had an executive come up to me on the field before the Chargers-Titans game and say, "You know who Penn State should hire? It should be Chesney." And the exact quote was, "Look what Cignetti's doing in Indiana." And Chesney's even a better coach than Cignetti.
Right.
Is what the NFL executive said to me. So I don't know if that's like they'll probably go with like Brian Hartline or Joe Brady because they're coming from bigger places or have bigger names. But Chesney would be like an absolute slam dunk. I agree with you 100%.
Yep. Ross, we got to run. We always love it.
Thanks for the time,
brother.
brother.
The Ross Tucker Podcast.
See you, dude. Futurefans.com. Let's see if anybody still has Commanders fever. Futurefans.com.
There you go. Futurefans.com. You can claim a 20% off offer. Thanks again, Ross. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, buddy.
By the way, real quick, I heard Rick Neuheisel say this yesterday. Mm-hmm. On good authority. He said Nick Saban was offered $100 million for 4 years. So you do the math on that to go to LSU.
Right.
To go back to LSU.
Might have to consider coming out of retirement for that sort of
I don't know if he's going
bag.
to. But think of $25 million a year.
But it probably doesn't change his life.
No, of course not.
It's not going to get a new house or a new
change
car.
his life, but it sets up
maybe his
future
grandkids,
generations.
great grandkids at this point.
All right, coming up next, we'll get into the Junkies Blitz, and don't forget Von Miller joins us coming up at 9:20.